Thanks for the question, whoever came up with that. I understand that it's probably going to be difficult in the next little while to figure out where we take those minutes out of the classroom, but I can tell you that all of us know as, well, those of us who are parents and members who have children in our families, we know that exercise is an important part of learning and also of growing up. Right now, we know that we are facing issues with child obesity in North America, and I think the Premier feels that it's extremely important to ensure that our children are getting that exercise. As you all know, our society is becoming more and more complacent. I'm sure those of you who are parents fight challenges every day to get your children off the computers or off their phones and to get them outside and get them moving. This is just a direct way that the Premier has come up with to ensure that we are having our society and our children be healthy in all senses of the word. So when you're looking at educating children, that's one way to ensure that they're healthy, but making sure that they're also getting activity in terms of phys ed in the day is extremely important. I know when I was growing up, I had phys ed on a regular basis, and I think it's a good move. Where we're going to take it out of the classroom, I'm not sure, but I can tell you that this is something that will likely not happen without consulting, of course, with teachers and school boards to ensure that it's done in a way that is proper. Ultimately, in the end, we want healthy children, and we want children who can be contributing members of society. I can tell you that being able to go out for a walk when I've got some important issues to figure out or to work on myself really does help me think better. So getting kids out of that classroom chair and moving is important. The days of having classrooms without windows is no longer the way to the future. People and educators recognize that it is important to keep our children moving and keep them active if we want to keep them learning, and I think this is the right step forward.
Well, I think I'd simply say we'd continue to try to accommodate the growth by continuing to have classrooms open. Of course, the Liberal government has been opening schools. This is something I think that any government would be doing, making sure that we keep pace with growth. Unfortunately, I don't think we quite have actually kept pace with growth. I'm not quite sure why this is specifically for me. I think that this is a pretty unanimous decision that everybody wants classrooms filled with students, but not overfilled. We're constantly behind in infrastructure spending here in Milton, in North Burlington, and North Oakville. Again, as with the transportation systems, as with healthcare, we're not keeping pace with growth. I would certainly encourage that extra focus is made on not only trying to catch up to the growth, but be ahead of it. This is the recurring theme. One of the recurring themes that I get at the door when I'm knocking door to door is why are the services and infrastructure spending here, whether it's in Burlington, Oakville, or Milton, why isn't it not keeping pace with growth? I think it's part of a general problem that we are unwilling to spend in the appropriate way until after the problem has manifest. It's very hard for me to get much more detailed than that. I think each of us up here and any other candidate in their right mind would want to make sure that there's adequate classrooms and teachers for these students that are coming into our community. So I guess that's all I can say to that.
Thank you. I'm not sure the exact number of whether 10,000 is the right number or not. I suspect it isn't. I think the classroom size is going to move from 23 to 26 under our proposal. In the studies that people other than me have looked at, apparently the results of larger classrooms of that modest increase don't significantly change. In fact, until you get below 16 or 15 students per class, the results for students and class size don't really make a huge difference. You have to get down into that 15, 14 area before you start making an impact on how well students do. The hiring of teachers and the requirements for teachers in classrooms is a Board of Education decision. They meet the provincial standards as the standards are set. So the boards of education would be responsible for matching that level of teachers with the classroom size as it is today. Those situations have adjusted over the years, and today we have 250,000 fewer students in public schools than we did 10 years ago. Those students have emigrated to independent schools where they like their educational flexibility in those areas. We think that the public and public board education and the Catholic board education should be looking at those numbers, and the boards considering why those things are happening, and to try to impact them so that they can be more competitive in those areas as far as student results are concerned. So it'd be a board decision as to where those teachers would come from.